Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and today I'm going to talk about a game we just finished playing for the third time called Pauper's Ladder by Paul Stapleton. It's the second edition, just was delivered to my house. And ironically, the day before it was delivered, I just finished reading Mark Twain's Prince and the Pauper. So I think I was predisposed to have a good time when I played this game anyway. It arrived at the house. I did an unboxing, if you haven't seen that video, to show you everything that we ordered, and we didn't get the one expansion, which was called Copper something, Coppershell,
Cobbled Isle.
Cobbled Isle.
And
We
it's
meant
coming.
to. We meant to. Oh, yes, it is coming. And then we also got the little solo game called Crows of Coppershell. Yeah, Crows of Coppershell Bay. I played this also, and this is pretty amazing, this little game. But we'll talk about that in a second. The first thing I want to talk about in this game is, I had some preconceptions about the game. Lori found it on YouTube, and she said, "Hey, we need to try this game because I think we'll like it." And she, pre-ordered it from Paul Stapleton, and we got it delivered to the house here. She was very excited about it. And you always have these preconceptions about games once you see them on YouTube, and you try to really put yourself in the demonstrator's position and make a decision whether you think you'll like that game or not. And so you're going to have these preconceptions, I guess is the word, of what you think the game is going to be like. And we try to not let that color our opinion of the game. But the first thing I want to talk about is the publishing of the game. It comes in a nice box. We really appreciated that, Paul Stapleton. Everything that I'm saying here goes out to YouTube and Paul Stapleton, so I hope he watches this video. And then the box itself has a nice insert that holds everything in it in place very nicely. You have the regular Pauper's Ladder cards go on one side, and then we have the Moon Tower, and those cards all fit on the other side, and then all the other accoutrement all fit in this. And this box isn't the biggest box. I mean, it's a smaller than a regular game box. And it's because of the cards that they use. And there's a lot of cards in here, but they're the smaller square cards like that. I'm going to guess, what, 2x2s? I guess those are about 2x2, if I had to guess. But there's a lot of them. A card stock is just regular card stock. I would have liked it if they were thicker linen. The board is a little thinner than I would have liked. I'm gonna say the things that I would change if it were me, and then I'll give all the praises of the publishing. The other thing I thought could have been, maybe this companion bird was a little bit smaller than the actual pauper. And again, these are nitpicky things, very nitpicky. Yeah, the board lays flat, I'll say that. And is that, oh, and then the Moon Tower expansion, the cards, they are marked with a little crescent moon on them. I mean, that crescent moon couldn't be any smaller. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Yeah, I'll be 70 next year. Just wait, pal. Your eyesight, you'll complain like me about that kind of thing. That crescent moon should have been a lot larger. Wouldn't have hurt anything if it was larger on the cards, so that you can separate those cards when you need to. When you play that expansion, the Moon Towers, you're going to replace the decks of cards, the region cards that are in Pauper's Ladder, with the region cards that are in Moon Towers. So yeah, if those ever get mixed up, the only way to sort them out is that little crescent moon, and it looks like a period to somebody like me. Like, oh, there is. Lori's like, hey, that's a crescent moon. Wow. So the praises of the publishing of this game, I can read all the text on the cards. I praise them for that. I've seen some cards in games where I can't even read it. It's so terrible, just because of the size of the font. These are very readable cards. I appreciate that very much. I thought that was outstanding. I love the art in this game. I don't know. What did you think?
I love it.
It just goes with the theme. Everything, all the art, all the character cards, all the card art, everything about this game screams Pauper's this adventure that you're on. This adventure, Brighthelm, I think is the name of the town, and the vibrant colors that are on this board for the regions is fantastic. I thought they did an excellent job with that. It just pops off this board. Probably can't tell on camera, but it just really looks nice. What else do I want to praise? Well, again, the insert and everything that holds everything. We also picked up the Bodox, which is kind of their Halloween thing, and we have played the gift bearers. So we played the base Pauper's Ladder, we played the gift bearers, and then we played the Moon Towers expansion. And just to get a feel for all the content in this game. And the player aids were nice, I thought. They helped out a lot. So praise there. The rule books were outstanding. I'm going to say this. And I said that in my unboxing when I was flipping through the rule book. I could just tell by the way these rule books were laid out, you were going to be able to play this game from what was in that rule book. And so, hey, that's praiseworthy. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about is the Crows of Coppershell Bay. And I want to talk about this game. It is a solo game. It comes in this little tin can. It's even called a Tiny Tin Tail, which is kind of cute. And everything about this game is cute also. This game is so fascinating. I played it just one time and cheated like crazy to win because that's how I do solo. And I wasn't familiar with the game, and when that happens, you do something and you're like, I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm going back and redoing that. So I did a lot of that in Coppershell Bay. But I enjoyed the game entirely for the whole time I was playing it. And you have some location cards that are going to be around a timer card in the middle of the setup, and you have an hourglass on that card, and the currency is time. Everything you're going to do, or any time you move, or actions that you take, most of them you have to spend time to do it, as long as it tells you to spend one time. So sometimes you can do some things for free, but most of the time you're moving that hourglass, and you're moving it during the daytime. So as soon as you get to the end of the daytime track, you flip the card to nighttime, and you're going to do, there's three actions on the nighttime side that allow you to rest and gather resources or just get stronger. And then you're going to flip that back over to daytime, and you have 3 rows of daytime to spend. And once you flip that back over to daytime, you roll a white die, and whatever value is on that die, you're going to get rid of that card around the outside, and the card will be significantly weaker and less helpful to you on that other side. So that's one of the things that go on in the game, and I could go on about this for quite a while. But the only point I want to make is it plays very smoothly, and I enjoy it very much. I like everything about it. The publishing, I love the tin can, the size of this game that you can take it with you, and the complexity of the game is right where I like to play board games. So that's outstanding. And that's called the Crows of Coppershell Bay. A nice little mistake. Lori ordered it by accident instead of the Cobbled Isle expansion, which we're going to get eventually, because again, we want all we can get our hands on for Pauper's Ladder because we're in love with this game, right? I'm doing my top 10 adventure games video here pretty soon, but I wanted to wait for this one to get here to play. This will be in my top 10, no doubt about it. It'll be Lori's number 1 for sure. She loves this game. And I love it too. I just don't know where I want to put it. As a matter of fact, I love this game so much, I don't see if it can stay outside of my Ultimate Top 100, which never happens that quickly before a game. This is really an outstanding board game. We've enjoyed all 3 of our plays with this game. I wanted to say, if you enjoy games like Talisman, Prophecy, The Witcher, Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, games like that, those are adventure games. If you enjoy those games, you're going to find elements of those in this game. And those are all games out of our library that I just mentioned. So we enjoy them very much. And there is so much to enjoy here. The complexity level of this is perfect. I think on Board Game Geek, when I looked up this morning, it was 2.17. In a lot of adventure card games, the complexity almost gets in the way of having fun.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You have so many rules and things that you have to follow as far as complexity that it stops the game sometimes from being as fun as it could be. In Pauper's Ladder, that doesn't seem to be the case. Everything kind of has a beautiful flow to it.
And player aids.
Yeah, and the player aids help too. And you have, I'm not going to go into how this game is played. You can look up other guys that are a lot smarter than me telling you how to play this game. But you're going to have a pauper, and you're going to have a companion bird, which the companion bird is going to, once it gets trained, you start out with the bird untrained. You have to pay 4 gems to get it flipped over to its trained side. It has a benefit that's going to help you as you move around the board. But you're going to, on your turn, move your pauper to a region, take an action there, move your bird to a region, take an action there, or in the same region. They can go the same region. And many times you want them in the same region. I had a card, what was it, my bird.
I think it was the town.
No, it was my bird, the owl. I have the owl, and it says when the owl is in the same region as your pauper, they both add 1 to their strength. So that was very important and critical a couple of times in the game for me. So I enjoy that type of thing. You're moving these guys around the board, and I don't know, it just flows. And then you're going to interact with these decks of cards that you see here. When you go to a region, you're going to draw a card off the top. We didn't use the swamp the entire, this is the whole deck of cards.
Very first card.
The very first card that came off the top of the swamp deck was a moon tower. And when a moon tower comes out, you have to take not seaweed, some kind of weed, moonweed token,
yeah.
Put it on top of that deck, and you can't use that deck until you defeat that moon tower. And then it was the last thing I did, wasn't it? That won the game. We played the entire game, could not get rid of it because we kept getting a card that added strength to the moon towers.
Yeah.
And so you had to go beat that because you're not going to beat it if it's got added strength on it. We just weren't strong enough to do that. But stuff like that. And we've had some wow moments in this game, didn't we? What was the one, the second game, the last, I defeated some kind of hazard by rolling, and I had a combination of cards, and I was able to roll the Lucky Charm die. This was the second game, so it was a gift bearers. The Lucky Charm die 3 times, and I needed 3 added strength out of those 3 rolls. The first roll was a 0, the sad face, so I still needed 3 added strength to beat a dragon.
Yeah.
That's what it was, because a dragon was 10, and lo and behold, I rolled it and got a 1, and rolled it and got a 2, and it was just, because I am a notoriously terrible dice roller. And to have that happen, I just jumped out of I can't believe that just happened. And it was, when you defeat a dragon, that's a virtue.
Virtue, yeah.
So you have to have 3 virtues in order to win this game. And is there 4 different, or 5 different ways you can get virtues, yeah. So 3 of those you have to complete in order to win the game. Hey, this is a cool game, you guys. And for senior citizens out there who I talk to mainly on this channel, because that's what I am, and this game is one that you can have so much fun with and play it at such an easy pace. Yeah, the text on the cards, I think I talked about in the publishing, is big enough that it's not going to be difficult to read. And the flow of the game is very self-explanatory. You'll have some questions about card language. We did about, what does that mean? And if you come across that, or if you have a question about that, you can look it up on BGG, and Paul is like answering questions, right?
His Facebook page is very active.
His Facebook page, and he will answer your questions. He seems very excited about this game, as well he should be, and it's nice to have a game author or game designer so active in answering questions about his game. So yeah, I mean, and these recipe cards you're going to be able to complete that give you special powers, and you can see on the backs of them they have 3 ingredients. Once you get 2 of those ingredients, that card, you can flip it over and use the special benefit. Yes, you have to get some of these ingredients. So you have some of the ingredients are the firefly tail, fairy dung, ectoplasm, a feather, a log, copper ore, fish scales, dwarf beard, glow dust, dragon heart, yeti claws. So stuff like that you're going to look for in these decks of cards as you're going around to these different regions and flipping those cards over, and you're looking for these, because once you get 5 of these, that's one of the virtues. And these cards help you. It's like an engine. You're going to get these extra benefits, and it's going to help you do better as the game goes on. So cool. You have a couple different kinds of equipment cards. You have rarity cards and then regular equipment cards. The rarities, of course, are more powerful, and there's different ways to get those. On your character sheet, it breaks everything down for you. This is the aviary. That's where your bird companion is going to go. And it has your purse. You're going to keep your money. And if you get 40 gems, you get the virtue of generosity. So that's one of the virtues you can get. The recipe book, that's when you learn 5 recipes. If you discard 40 strength to learn the virtue of bravery, you have to have power of 40 hazards that you have defeated. And then in your journal, in this particular case with the moon towers, you have to have 4 quests completed, or moon towers, to learn the virtue of fellowship. So those are And then also in the trophy room, I forgot, you can discard one elemental to learn the virtue of magnificence. That's your 5th one. So it tells you everything on here that you need to do, so you can keep track of that. That's very helpful also. Then you have a token that's going to keep track of how many virtues you've completed. You know, you start it with here, then you learn 1, 2, and then the 3rd one you're going to be victorious and win Pauper's Ladder or Moon Towers or whatever you happen to be playing. But it's a fun, super fun game. In this Moon Towers expansion, you also have curse cards, which I had the pleasure of never getting any curse cards. Lori, did you have them twice?
I had one.
Just one?
Just one.
And they're brutal.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of them, man.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, and then you have this talent deck. Both of these decks are added with the Moon Towers expansion. And again, you're going to move around this board to the different regions. And the red ones that you see here are 4 cities that you're going to visit. That's where you complete quests. And you can buy equipment from the city's shops. So that's pretty cool too. You know, with the Moon Towers expansion, you have the golden die. With the regular Pauper's Ladder, you have the lucky charm. In a lot of instances, you're going to roll both. So that's really nice and fun. I like games like this that have dice rolling. I mean, I like it. It's random, and you just take what it gives you. You know, right? I mean, you're going to have some crappy rolls. You know, if you're counting on it and you roll that lucky charm and it comes up blank or 0, that's life.
There's 4 zeros on that one.
There's only 2 successes, the 1 and the 2. Oh
yeah,
gosh,
I think it's 4 zeros. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 zeros and then a 1 and a 2.
Yeah.
Oh no, 2 1s and a 2. So it has 2 1s and a 2 and 3 zeros.
Okay.
So the chance is a 50% chance of rolling nothing, which seems to happen more than 50% of the time. And then with the Moon Towers expansion also, you have what do you call it? Crescents. You have a group of tokens called crescents, and there's times when you can draw these out of the bag, and they have little helps.
The bag didn't come with it.
Added, oh, didn't?
No.
Okay. It has added strength and stuff. And as you can see, these are tokens, but Lori's put them in little coin holders, coin capsules. This bag did not come with it. We just had this bag laying around, and we put them in there. You can put them in a cup or whatever you want to draw them out of there. And then again, these player aids that come with it are very helpful when you're playing the game. Yeah. I mean, it's a fun game. It was well thought out. It's been, I don't know. Again, we had a preconception of it when we saw it on YouTube, and you hope that what you're seeing is going to be fun when you do it yourself. I mean, I tell you, I've been wrong more than once.
Yep.
Hey, that looks great. I think I've watched it played. I was making the decisions in my head for the guy playing it or gal playing it, and I think we're going to like it. And then we get the game to the house, play it ourselves, and we saw some things we experienced some things that weren't good, and we missed those in the playthrough, and we ended up moving those games on. In this particular instance,
Not going anywhere.
yeah, Lori's perception of this game was correct. It is extremely a lot of fun. We enjoy it so much so far. Oh, and yeah, every character's, I didn't mention this, but you have an outcome deck, and this is your dice. You know, this is, normally you'd roll dice to randomize and your encounters for strength and your battle, and you're going to have an outcome deck, and the outcome deck has value cards in it. So when you draw that, when you have a hazard that you're going to encounter, and you're going to draw a card off the top, and that's going to be your beginning strength, and then hopefully you have some cards to add to it if you don't defeat that hazard. But that's your dice. I like that. That outcome deck is pretty cool. And also in this deck, you have bystander, helpful priest. I guess, yeah, okay. Yeah, there are a lot of allies in here that I never hardly used them. Because you have to be in certain regions and in order for those to take effect. There was one other thing I want to say about this deck. I forget what it was. Oh, sometimes there are effects in the game that allow you to stack this deck.
Yeah.
And I like that. We had one card. No, I don't know where it went. But we had a card, I think it was from the beach, and it said whenever you went there, you could draw 4 cards off the top of your outcome deck and put them back in whatever order you won. So you draw 4 cards, and hey, if there's a 6, and you say to yourself, you know, that's the highest value. And for instance, I drew 4 cards, and it was a 6, 5, 4, and maybe a 2. So I put the 6 on top, 5, 4, and then 2 on the bottom. And then I looked around the board, and I wanted to go battle, you know, a powerful hazard. so that I could draw that 6 and begin there, and then add in any help that I had in my cards, and was able to defeat or at least have a better chance to defeat that hazard. So those are the kinds of things that go on in this game. You're going to have cards laying all over the board, and they're going to stay there in many instances until some effect, you do something and complete whatever in order to take that card off the board. And then you also have for your recipe cards these ingredients that you're going to gather. Sometimes if you don't need that ingredient, just leave it on the board and somebody can go to that region, discard it or take it and use it for their recipe cards. Yeah, I don't know. What do you got to say about it?
I don't think you can hear me. I love it.
Yeah.
I lost all 3 games, but I love it. It's my favorite adventure game.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, you might have lost, but you were about to win.
Yeah, I was close all 3 times. It was a very close game all 3 times.
And you have to admit, the last 2 times we played, I got so lucky.
You did get lucky the last game. I was very lucky.
Yeah, when I beat that dragon too.
Yeah.
That was just luck.
Yeah, that was luck.
The
You're
last
right.
2 games,
You're right.
I just got it. Just luck just cascaded down
But
on
it's just
me.
fun. I like the cards. I like the art. I like the stories. I like the stuff that's going on. I like the Paupers. I just like everything about it.
I mean, when you talk about the balance of this game, as far as the complexity and the art and the mechanics, the way it all meshes together, gosh, I don't know, it might be my favorite adventure game ever. Just because of all those things, the mechanics and the art and the flow of the game, it just lends itself to being a fun game. And we super enjoyed it.
You could play this with families.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And you're busy thinking because you're trying to weave your cards together and you're checking to see what you have and you're asking yourself, which one of these virtues can I finish? And you may start out heading in one direction and then something changes in the game. Maybe you got lucky and something happened to say, oh man, I just got a ton of money. I'm going to try and get $40.
That's what I finally did.
Yeah.
I didn't have any money, and all of a sudden I had a bunch of money, so I got that virtue.
So things can change.
Or gems. It's not money, it's gems.
Gems. And
Yeah.
and in Coppershell Bay, to win this, you have to have 60 gems. And then you go to the crow's nest, which is one of the locations, and you have to roll a die, and every
5 times.
5 times, and all 5 times it's going to take something away from you. So you better be ready at the end of the game to not only have those 60 gems, but be ready to sacrifice some things so that you can win the game. It's a super fun game. This was super fun, and this was super fun. So we're just really pleased. I bought the game off Paul Stapleton. I just want you guys to know I paid for this game. It wasn't any kind of gift or a review copy. I don't do that just because I think Paul Stapleton deserves to be paid for a wonderful game, first of all. And second of all, I can't very well tell you how terrific this game was if somebody gave it to me. I'm sorry, I just can't do that. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it would be accurate because I couldn't be as critical as I would wish to be. I just couldn't do that. But I paid for the game, and I thought it was reasonably priced for everything, and it was shipped from UK. It got here quick, though.
It did. It got here really fast.
I couldn't believe it.
I was shocked how fast it got here.
Hey,
yeah.
we've ordered. Where's Boardlandia?
Yeah, I know. I don't know, but it isn't here yet.
Yeah, we ordered it a month ago. This game got to us very quickly. This is definitely going to be in my top 10 all-time adventure games, where it could be number 1. I don't know. I have to think about it.
It is definitely for me, just because of the art and the characters. I just love it.
It's super fun. It is super fun to play. Again, it doesn't get in its own way. It seems to me, especially adventure games, get in their own way with complexity. And so it takes a certain amount of the fun out of the game. I can't say enough about it. This is one of the few games I've been this impressed with right out of the box in a long time. It's outstanding.
And there's just so much added to it. Yeah. I mean, you just can play it this way,
I mean,
you can play it this way, or you can play it that way.
There's a lot in this box. And if you get the Moon Towers along with it, there is just a ton of game in here. Mm-hmm. And then we, just these little, the Gift Bearers and the Bodocks little mini expansions adds more to the game. I don't know. It's crazy. I really, really like this game. Wow. And I want to give a shout out to the Dungeon Dive, Daniel over the Dungeon Dive. It's one of the places we saw the game, and he raved about it. And we really, really enjoy this game, and we enjoyed the fact that we watched his YouTube channel and saw this game, because we are perusing constantly on YouTube looking for games that are new and different. There are so many games out there that are laissez-faire, just
Well, we just lucked into it because he just did this second printing. This
Yeah.
game was impossible to find
Yeah.
because it wasn't released in this country. It's hard to get.
It came out in 2019. I don't know if he has any copies available still. I don't know that.
I believe so, but I don't
Yeah.
know that for
You-
100%.
Where would they find that? Like on
Bed Sit Games.
Bed Sit Games?
Mm-hmm.
Bed Sit Games, BEDSIT, Bed Sit Games. Look it up. Hey guys, I'm telling you right now, you will love this game. Again, if you like this type of thing, we have a lot of Euro games, and we have some adventure. Euro games make up probably 60% of our games, and 40% are adventure games like this. And I'm really picky about the adventure games that we keep. Some of them, again, are just so complex that it's no fun. But I keep the more simpler ones like Prophecy and Escape from 100 Million BC, and the easier ones that are easier to comprehend and have a little better flow to them. The Witcher, we enjoyed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely a little easier to understand and play, and has a better flow to it. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's going to be up there in my top 100 games for this year, which I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do my top 10 adventure games, which is going to, you know how I cheat. There's going to be more than 10 games in that video, because I have a lot of adventure games that I like, and I don't know, to put them in an order, a top 10 is difficult to do. So I just want to tell people about the games that I keep in my library that I want to revisit more and more and more. And gosh, this still doesn't feel as though we've got a perfect handle on it.
Well, we haven't seen all the cards.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different things going on in those decks that we have yet to explore.
Because of the varied things, the varied text, the varied mechanics that come into play on the cards themselves, it can change the way you play the game. And it just feels like it has an expanse to it, not of complexity, but an expanse of exploration, I guess. And just exploring everything that's in this system. Just a great bunch of fun we had playing these 3 times. We played it once, day before yesterday, then twice today. Because I wanted to make this video and tell you guys, I just did the unboxing, and I wanted to tell you what I thought of the game. Hey, this was worth your money. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I told you guys that, so that you could seek this game out if it looks like fun to you. Hey, we just played it for did we play 3 hours or?
Well, we played it, and then we had lunch, then we played it again.
Okay, so we spent a lot of time with
it
this
takes
game
about
playing.
an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah, and the games some of them can be shorter than others, because if you get lucky, you're gonna get luckier than other odd times, but and then it can go on a little. And some people will say, well, it drags on. It can. If you don't have certain things fall into place, it can drag on a little bit, but it doesn't feel like you're dragging, I guess is my comment. It doesn't feel like you're dragging. I enjoyed it, man. We had a good time playing this game. And I appreciate the board being small. The footprint of the game itself is not that big. I don't know what it would feel like with 3 or 4 players. We'll have to play with one of our grandkids and play a 3-player game to see what that. Yeah, it does say 3 or 4. So if you're playing with more players, you flip over the side of your pauper to 3 and 4, and it has a little pawn up here with a number that you're supposed to use. But I don't know. We had a great time playing it. It's again going to be way up there it's going to be in my Ultimate Top 100 games. It's going to be in my top 10 adventure game video for sure. And that's all I got to say about it. If you have played this game, what do you think about it? Please leave any comments or concerns that you have about this game. Any questions you have about it, because I would like to talk more about it. I don't know what else I can say. Leave a comment about what you think, and maybe check out some other guys, reviewers, and see what they think about it. Again, I bought the game, and I'm glad I did, because it's going to stay in our library. I'm proud of having this game. I'm excited to play it again. We've played it 3 times now in the last 3 days, and I play it again right now.
When Coppershell shows up, we're going to play it again.
We're going to play it again. As soon as I get more content, I'm going to play it again, because I enjoy it. It just, again, has just such a sense of exploration when it comes to what's available in these decks, and the combination of things that can happen by what cards you draw off the top of these decks when you go to these regions. Hey, that is just a sign of a great board game design. I love it. Thank you, Bed Sit Games. Thank you, Paul Stapleton. I think he's over in the UK, right? Thank you for a wonderful game. Hey, look how cute this game just says, relax. It doesn't. Hey, relax. Relax and have a good time playing a board game. That's the message I guess I want to send out to you today. When you play this game, you're just going to relax. It's not stressful. You know, there's no horrible things.
Well, unless you get cursed.
Yeah, unless you get cursed. But relax and have a good time. Wow, what a fun game. Hey, that's it. That's it from the Bones Collector today. I've yammered on long enough, and I love every one of you. Please keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet. Please like, please subscribe, and yeah, leave comments. I said that. You tend to repeat yourself when you're my age. Yeah, see you next time on the Bones Collector. Bye-bye.